Got the fresh hub in, got it all torqued down. Now we gotta put the brakes on. Alright, and now we got the bracket on. And after that we get the brake rotor and the caliper on. Now we just gotta put the pads in. Alright, and then we're pretty much all set. Got everything torqued down. These top ones, those two are torqued to 40 to 45 foot-pounds. And then the two pad bolts, I just snugged them down to 21 foot-pounds, and it should be good to go. Alright, so if you want to replicate kind of what I did, here I'll go through the process. Basically, the first thing you'll have to do is to modify this bracket. See right where it's 90'd? Basically, there will be some excess metal here that you'll have to cut out, and you just match it with the back of the bracket. You're going to do that on both sides, and then this way it will mount right behind the bracket and you'll have proper clearance. And then in addition, you're going to have to probably bend the bracket slightly outwards so that it brings the cap off the firewall. In addition to bringing off the firewall that way, I added some spacers. This is a 3/8, and this one is one I trimmed down a little bit just so it would sit more flush. And then the bolts are just a M6 by 16 millimeter, just so you can mount it to the firewall. From there, that's pretty much all the modification we have to do. Now for this bracket, since we want the mounting to sit higher, I got these 5/8 spacers that just go and sit here, and then that way it puts the bracket higher and makes the reservoir sit a bit lower. And then with the bolts that I used some, they're M5 by 25 millimeter, and they're a 0.8 thread pitch. And then from there you can pretty much just mount it up and you're pretty much good to go. And just one thing to note, I already obviously drilled the hole for mounting, but you can move it around, use different spots. So this is just where I decided to go. So now that we got the modified bracket there, we drilled our new hole and we got it all mounted up with we got spacers on the back to just bring it a little bit off the firewall. Now we can mount the other bracket that will allow us to mount the brake reservoir on it. Alright, so now we got that mounted up. Now we just got to get the reservoir itself on there. Alright, so you got it all mounted up here. Pretty much, I'm still waiting on a new line. I'm gonna have to extend this fuel line, the return line, and then once that's good, I'll move this to over on this panel. But pretty much that's what we got. I'll get the hoses hooked up to the master, and then yeah,